Okay, good morning everyone, and good morning as well as to our online viewers via YouTube. Welcome to our pre-bid conference. Today is February 16, 2024. So we will be explaining the project contract IDs to be bid out. That is contract ID 24H8008283884 and 85. So before we start, may I request everybody to please stand for the prayer.
Let us put ourselves in the presence of the Lord. Our Heavenly Father, we offer you our thanksgiving. We thank you for everyone gathered here today to walk with you. May we ask you for your blessings and guidance so that the activities set for this undertaking be successful. We ask you to open our eyes to see the wonderful things from this activity. We ask that you open our ears so that we may retain the invaluable knowledge. Open our minds for us to think wisely. Put us with understanding, cooperation, and peace in fulfilling our responsibilities. Open our hearts so that we may receive your everlasting love, and open our spirit so that we may know that you are with us all throughout the day. We ask all this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Okay, so before we start our pre-bidding conference, so I will call the attendance first. For the Bids and Award Committee, our back chairperson, Ade Manolo B. Madrono Jr. via online. Our vice back chairperson, Jeremiah H. Cabuya. For the back members, Maria Dolores Salazar, Maria Luz Di Branzuela, uh, Elvira C. Fernandez, and your procurement engineer, yours truly, Sharina Batokapala. For the back secretariat members, Jerome Padraki, Arner Branzuela, Winmar Pilinia, Sarabil Solid, and Raymond Mateo. For the technical working group members, sino ba yung mga nandito? Rinaldo Padillo. Okay. And for the planning representative, Engineer Melo Raniel. And for the prospective bidders who are present, na ba? From Rebecca Najiba Construction and Development, Representative Husga Laarni May. So, Miss Vice Chair, Sir Adi, we have only one prospective bidder who are present today. Okay. Okay, thank you, Ms. Shar. So may I request the planning engineers for the discussion of the corresponding projects.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm Engineer Raniel from PDS. I will be discussing the project for the upcoming bidding. First, for the contract ID 24HH0082 with contract name Convergence and Special Support Program, Basic Infrastructure Program, Access Roads, and or bridges from the national roads, leading to major strategic public buildings, facilities, construction of road, Barangay Mabolo, Cebu City. Uh, with ABC amounting to 4,950,000 with contract duration of 90 calendar days. For the DD plans, okay, we have station limits, 3,431 to 3,579 with net length of 148 meters. So, ang ato ang location is sumpay ta sa last na to nga project, I think 2022 nga project, 2021 nga projects. Dire siya agion dapit sa BIC at bang sa Metrobank nga Mabolo. So, for the if ganahan ang contractor nga makaadto, pwede ra sila aning location nga coordinates or pwede sila mo coordinate with the planning para makuyugan. And then for the summary of quantities, we have provision of combined field office, operation and maintenance of the temporary field office, permit and clearances, project billboards, occupational safety and health program, traffic management, mobilization, demobilization, removal of structures and obstructions, then surplus common excavation, pipe culverts and drain excavation, subgrade preparation, aggregate sa base course. We also have PCCP with 300 mm thick. We also have reinforcing steel bars, structural concrete, manholes, inlets, concrete cover, metal frames, reconditioning drainage structures, and lastly, ang curb and gutter. So, ano ito sa typical cross-section. So, makita na ito nga, we have a 6.7 meter width for our PCCP and also naatay both sides nga curb and gutter and also for our drainage system. Okay, that's for the 24, that's for contract ID 24HH 0082. Let's go to the next project. Contract ID 24HH 0083 with contract name Convergence and Special Support Program Sustainable Infrastructure Facilities Projects Alleviating Gaps Access roads and or bridges from the national roads leading to major strategic public buildings, facilities, construction of road, Barangay, Cambinocot, Cebu City. So we also have a ABC 4,900,000 contract duration of 90 calendar days. Then for the DD, okay. We have station limits of 24,182 to station 24,478. We have net length of 296 meters. Then, ang atong location, wala kayo tayo mga mailhan nga establishment dito. So, kani siya, sumpay ni siya sa ato ang 2021, 2022, 2023 nga project. And then, unahan na sa nigamay sa Barangay Hall. Okay? Then, as I have said ganina, natay coordinates for the collocation if ever mag-inspection or mo site visit ang mga contractor, and also they can also kanang ask someone from the planning nga nakatuod para makuyog. Then for the summary quantities, we have provision of combined field office, permits and clearances, project billboards, commissioner safety and health program, traffic management, mobilization, demobilization, surplus common excavation, surplus rock excavation, structure excavation, pipe culverts and drain excavation, embankment from the roadway excavation, subgrade preparation, aggregate sub-base course, PCCP pavement, 0.2 meter thick, reinforcing steel bars, structural concrete, pipe culverts, 36 inches diameter, stone masonry, and concrete curb precast. So for the okay, so for the typical road section, so we have uh, 5 meter nga 5 meters nga width, then nasa tay side ditch, then we also have road shoulder nga 0.3. Okay, we also have some portion of the projects. We also have the kanang open line canal sa kilid with kanang concrete curb nga precast. Okay, let's go to the next project. Contract ID 24HH0084. Convergence and Special Support Program, Sustainable Infrastructure, projects alleviating gaps, access roads and or bridges from the national roads leading to major strategic public buildings, facilities, construction of road, Barangay Tap-Tap with AVC amount of 4,900,000. Contract duration 90 calendar days. For the DED plan, okay, we have station limit of 23,000 to 23,215 with net length of 215 meters. And then, ang location sa town project is pwede ta moagi diri sa Trans Central, arita sa Cream Deck. Diri mo left side ta kanang unahan sa ato ang karaan nga office sa DPWH. Diha man ta naman na ikuan sa DPWH diha, then unahan lang ang ato ang location. Then naabot tay location nga coordinates. So for the summary of quantities, we have provision of combined field office, operation and maintenance of temporary field office, permits and clearances, project billboards, occupational safety and health program, traffic management, mobilization, demobilization, removal of actual structures, obstruction, 910 diameter ng RCPC, surplus common excavation, surplus rock excavation, structure excavation, pipe culverts and drain excavation, embankment from roadway excavation, subgrade preparation, aggregate sub-base course, PCCP, 200 mm thick, reinforcing steel bars, structural concrete, pipe culverts, 36 inches diameter, stone masonry, and concrete curb precast. Okay, this is our typical road section. We have 5 meter width. We also have reinforced line canal at left side. Then with with precast nga concrete curve. And also the sa right side natay 0.3 nga shoulder. Then natay side ditch. There is a picas. Okay. For the last project, contract ID 24HH0085, ensure safe and reliable national road system, asset preservation program, rehabilitation, reconstruction of roads with slips, slope, collapse, and landslide, secondary roads, Cebu, Balamban, Transcendental Highway, kilometer 16,165 to kilometer 16,201. Project description, so slope protection, ABC amount of 13,720,000 with contract duration of 166 calendar days. For the DED, okay. So, ato ang station limits. So, kilometer 16, 165, and 2, kilometer 16, 201. So, net length na to is only 36 meters. Then, ang location sa to ang project, sumpay ni siya sa previous na tong road slip project. Ang location niya is before siya mo abot sa babag nga kanang high school. Then, after po ni siya sa kantong kuan, naining collapse, unahan pa ni gamay sa bunbon nga agianan. So, if ever nga makuha po ang ganahan mo ato ang contractor, so naaratay location, naapod tay pictures to guide mag-asa dapit. Then, at the same time, pwede ra po sila mo pakuyog from the planning people nga nakatuod sa site. Then, for the summary quantities, combined field office, operation and maintenance of the temporary field office, permits and clearances, project billboard, occupational safety and health program, traffic management, mobilization and demobilization, removal of actual structures, obstructions, PCCP and reinforce of kanang 230 mm thick, surplus common excavation, embankment from borough, subgrade preparation, aggregate sub-base course, PCCP, 300 mm thick, reinforcing steel bars, structural concrete, stone masonry, steel sheet piles for slope protection, cellular confinement system, permanent ground anchor, then next, select granular backfill, metal guardrail, metal beam including posts, reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings, white and yellow, then non-shrink grout, pipes and fittings, 150 mm diameter nga HDPE, high density polyethylene. Then for the typical roadway section, so mo ni may tabo. So bakbako na to ang dilapidated ng PCCP nga katong ning slip. Then magbutang ta og protection sa right side. Na siya steel sheet pile with kanang concrete capping. Then we also have kanang sa bottom nga side natay katong mga ground anchor bolts, ground anchor nga mga balls, then with non-shrink nga grout. Then sa top nga side natay kanang stone masonry. Then ang katong gitanggal nato nga PCCP nga pavement, ilisan nato siya og 300 mm nga PCCP. Okay. I think that's all. Sir Ernst? I'm good. That's all for the planning.
Okay, so thank you, Engineer Milo Raniel. So you have already heard the discussion on the 4 projects to be bid out in the as per schedule. So if there are any questions from our loan construction firm, any questions, clarifications? Okay, so wala, but for those online viewers, if you have some clarifications, you may visit the planning and design section. So our planning engineers will be readily accommodate of whatever clarifications you have with respect to the discussed projects. So this time, we'd like to
Here, the voiceover with respect to the reminders of with regards to the project documents during the conduct of the opening of bids. So Joshua.
Once again, for the additional information, no, for the bidders, for the documents to be submitted, these following requirements will be discussed in the preparation of the documents. First, for the technical proposal, the basic eligibility requirement during the submission of bids in the field JEPs certificate of registration and membership must be current and updated in accordance with the provisions of the IRR. And its registration is proper and relevant to the particular type of procurement. In lieu of the Class A eligibility documents uploaded and maintained current and updated in the field JEPs, bidders are required to submit their field JEPs certificate of registration during bid submission. Next, if ang bidder is not enrolled in CWA, the bidder must attach validated PCAB license and registration, statement of all ongoing and completed government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, whether or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid within the period provided in the bidding documents, given emphasis as per Department Order number 36 series of 2015. For this, strong emphasis is given to this matter since this will be strictly revalidated and checked upon during the detailed bid evaluation. Non-compliance of this is subjected for sanction per DEO number 17 series of 2015 under the three-strike policy report. Next, statement of single largest completed contract or SLCC, similar to the contract to be bid at least 50% of the ABC. Net financial contracting capacity or NFCC, computation and statement of total assets and liabilities. Next is the mayor's permit or business permit must be present, tax clearance, audited financial statement, duly received by BIR at least 2 years from bidding date, income tax return or ITR. Next is for DTI for sole proprietorship and CDA for cooperatives. For a corporation, there should be a secretary's certificate or board resolution duly notarized indicating the authorized and designated signing official. Next, JVA, if applicable, which requires special PCAB license and registration with percentage of 2 contractors. For the bid security, the contractor can choose among the applicable forms of bid security, which the duration is 120 calendar days per RA 9184. The bidder shall submit a bid security declaration or any form of bid security in an amount not less than the required percentage of the ABC in accordance with the following schedule. Cash or cashier's check issued by the Universal of Commercial Bank, which is 2%. Now, bank draft guarantee or a revocable letter of credit issued by a Universal or Commercial Bank, provided, however, that it shall be confirmed and authenticated by a universal or commercial bank if issued by a foreign bank, which is 2%, surety bond upon demand issued by a surety or insurance company duly certified by the Insurance Commission as authorized to issue such security, which is 5%. Any discrepancy in the amount even a centavo means non-compliant. If the validated exceeds 120 calendar days, the contractor should renew and submit a new bid securing declaration or BSD, considering that all legal, technical, and financial documents should still be valid during award. Number 4, bid security in prescribed form for the amount and validity period. For project requirements, the bidders should attach the organizational chart for the contract to be bid including the list of contractors' key personnel, to be assigned to the contract with their complete qualification data and affidavit of commitment to work on the project of the contractor's key technical personnel, which there must be no duplication of key functions wherein assignments of several projects of key personnel is strongly discouraged because it was found out that some contractors have one project engineer with multiple ongoing contract projects. The 5 key technical personnel must have experience similar to the contract project to be bid at least 50% of ABC, or as follows: project manager is not necessary a licensed civil engineer. However, the experience should have minimum of 5 years experience of same position and 3 years experience of similar position. Project engineer must be duly licensed civil engineer, should be current and updated with a minimum of 5 years experience of same position, 3 years experience of similar position. For the materials engineer, must be a licensed civil engineer with minimum of 5 years experience of same position, 3 years experience of similar position, duly DPWH accredited materials and quality control engineer. Foreman with minimum of 5 years experience of same position and 2 years experience of similar position. For the safety and health officer with a certificate duly accredited by DOLE as safety officer. The bidder should have a safety officer 3 or SO3 regardless of amount and category, wherein the requirements and appointment, designation, and job description as safety officer. If the company doesn't have a safety officer, they should attach a pledge of commitment to undertake trainings for 48 hours. Additional info, they were advised not to manufacture the experience of their key technical personnel just to suit with the requirements. All the licenses and credentials of the key technical personnel must be current and updated. These attachments should be visible and have a clear copy. The back advisor vendor for project duration. Certification of minimum laboratory equipment duly certified by any DPWH office as per DO number 80, series of 1990. And reiterated for strict compliance as per DO number 138, series of 2015, DO 11, series of 2017, to ensure that the said certification is current and updated, which has only 1 year validity and still subject for post-qualification. Construction Safety and Health Program per DO 129, series of 2014, the preparation of the safety and health program is component of the technical proposal as per department order, of which the limitation is 1 safety officer within limited jurisdiction on the limits not exceeding 50 million. However, per project must have 1 first aider, and it is not necessary approved considering that this will be resubmitted if they will be awarded with the project. The compliance of construction safety and health is now a law as per Republic Act 11058 dated August 2018. The safety officer 3 should be on site since this is one of the requirements during inspection of the personnel from DOLE. There will be a penalty if the safety officer is not around during the inspection of DOLE. The company should also conduct monthly, quarterly, yearly report as one of the OSH requirement in construction industry. The bidders were advised to prepare their own construction safety and health program. For the omnibus sworn statement in the form, the omnibus sworn statement has 9 items. They should comply with a standard form wherein, in the absence of 1 item, it will be rated as failed. For the affidavit of site inspection, inspection of the project site is encouraged in order to validate the site prior to dropping of bids to avoid future problem. Because the contractor has the responsibility to complete the project once awarded to them. For the financial proposal, this must be included also the bid form, the bid prices in the bill of quantities, detailed estimates including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rentals used in coming up with the bid. So mo na ang dapat sa inyong detailed no na agid na diha ang materials, ang labor ug ang material. Ang lump sum nato no mo na atong gikuan pod before di magid malikayan ang lump sum no kay per item naa man ang lump sum. Usually na ni sa mga building nga projects maka duol lang gid mo sa planning pwede mo mangayo og breakdown sa lump sum no for kuan pod na siya for smooth implementation sa project no. So makaduol lagid mo unsay suot sa lump sum kay di man pare sa ubang item nga per square naa na dayon no kay per square man lump sum compromise pa nagdaghan kay materials. So quarterly, monthly cash flow and payment schedule must be present also in the financial proposal. Failure to attach any requirement or any missing, incomplete, or patently insufficient documents in the above mentioned is a ground for outright rejection for the bid and will fall as non-compliant. All documents to be submitted must be current and updated, otherwise it will be rated as failed. The technical and financial proposal must be in A4 size. Mo na itong standard sa atong bid documents. Well paginated with duly authorized signatures and book-bounded to avoid insertion. Further, the authorized liaison officer will be the one to drop the bids. The bidders will also advise to be responsible to their bid submitted in accordance with the checklist, and their technical and financial proposals should have proper pagination based on the number or order if the checklist including proper sequencing of documents. Their submitted documents should be done accordingly. If the legal A documents are attached, much better. However, if the documents are expired, attach receipt of proof that the renewal is on process. The bid documents of the bidders must follow the completeness of the bid, both in form and substance. The bidders were advised not to recycle legal documents of documents attached in the previous submission of bids which have signatures and countersigns of the back members. It must be all original signatures attesting certified copies. Affidavits must be original signature. For the joint venture, whatever guidelines complied by one bidder should also be complied by the other bidder. For example, if one has a PhilJEPS registration, then the other one should also attach their PhilJEPS registration. Leaving blanks on the bid proposal for the unit bid price of total cost per item is considered failed, except indicated as zero, or which is understood as free to the government. Bidders with lowest bid during the opening of bid is not a guarantee to be awarded. Why? Kay subject for evaluation pa man ang inyong gidrop. All bid documents are still subject for bid evaluation and post-qualification prior to be declared as lowest calculated responsive bid and subsequently to be awarded for the contract. The bidders are given 3 days upon bidding for file for a motion for reconsideration. The BAC emphasized on the deadline of the receipt by the BAC of bids, which is 10 a.m. only, as stipulated in the invitation of bid. Kung mulapas na sa 10 a.m., so dili na makadrop ang bidders. No, ato ginang gistrikto og maayo, i-close na nato ang atong hulganan dere beyond 10 a.m. in the morning. For the criteria and procedure for eligibility check, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification and award. The BAC will determine the eligibility of the bidders based on the PhilJEP's registration on their legal aid documents, which should be maintained current and updated, including that of the Civil Works Application or the CWA, which focuses on the NFCC work experience of single largest completed contract, similar to the contract project for bidding at hand. The BAC will ascertain based on the checklist of the required documents to be submitted using pass or fail criterion during the preliminary and detailed bid evaluation. In addition, after the opening of bids as per 2016 revised implementing rules and regulation under section 32.2, the BAC will conduct a detailed bid evaluation of all the bids using non-discretionary criteria wherein it requires the completeness of bid. Bids not addressing or providing all the required items in the bidding documents, including, where applicable, bill of quantities, shall be considered non-responsive and thus automatically disqualified. In this regard, where a required item is provided but no price is indicated, the same shall be considered as not responsive. But specifying a zero or a dash for the said item would mean that it is being offered for free of the government, except those required by law or regulations to be provided for. In case of discrepancies between bid prices and figures and in words, the latter shall prevail, no? Ang words ang mo prevail. Total price per item and unit price for the item as extended or multiplied by the quantity of that item. Unit cost in the detailed estimate and unit cost in the bill of quantities, the same will be applied to the detailed checking evaluation of the technical. The same will be applied sa katong checking evaluation of the proposal. Then the bidder, rated as the lowest calculated bidder, will undergo post-qualification. Once post-qualified, the bidder will be determined as lowest calculated responsive bid and subsequently to be awarded for the contract. All bidders are of equal footing thereby. Bidders are advised to include all taxes, other fiscal and duties as mandated by law in all items of work, which details are shown in the detailed estimates. For the post-qualification, the bidders were advised to read Department Order number 127, Series 2018, and other issuances relative to this matter, since the BAC will be very keen and strict on the conduct of post-qualification process, considering that the concerned officials or employees, including the concerned BAC members, will be liable to the administrative penalties if this directive will not be followed. As per DEO number 127, the contractor will not be awarded with a certain project if it has a negative slippage of at least 15% in a single contract or at least 10% in two or more contracts. During post-qualification, even though the contractor is the lowest bidder, still it is subject for further verification to ensure the compliance of the requirements of the contract. With that, the office will be sending a letter being the lowest calculated bid, which within 5 days from the receipt of notice, the bidder must submit the latest income and business tax return and other appropriate licenses, permits, and other legal documents required and stated in the bidding document and as stipulated in the said communication. If not complied within 5 days, the next calculated lowest bidder will be notified. So, you're only given 5 days, no? On the other hand, the office will be sending a letter of inquiry on the committed failure on the bidding at hand. Thus, this communication must be acted upon the contractor on the required time frame. Otherwise, without action taken, it will be relatively resort to sanction, which will fall on the three-strike policy, which a tantamount of blacklisting, suspension of the contractor. If the bidder will commit 3 mistakes in a year, then they will be recommended for further sanctions. Moreover, the qualification and experience of the key technical personnel is subject for verification as part of the post-qualification process. They are allowed to replace their key personnel technical, which they have to write a letter 14 days prior to the proposed replacement duly approved by the HOPE of the office. The BAC will be strict on the compliance of the equipment as part of post-qualification. No, it is stated as per DO number 127 series 2018. The contractor can attach in the proposal the list of equipment or agreement to purchase or proposal to rent or agreement on the delivery of the equipment so that the contractor will be assessed as compliant in terms of equipment requirement. The OR and CR must be present, no? Also, it must be current and updated, not expired. The equipment should be calibrated and tested, accredited, and the registration should be current and updated. Whatever is stipulated in the BDS should be followed. An inspection will be conducted on the verification of equipment during other documents to be evaluated. Also, to be verified during post-qualification is the set of equipment pledged by the bidder. The bidder should in the submitted bid location of the equipment where they can be inspected. Ang atong DWG members kay mo inspect na sa inyong equipment pledge, no? If any piece of equipment is not in the specified location, then the bidder shall be post-disqualified as per Department Order Number 9, says upon receipt of the